hands. That's what I'm all about. Hunger in my eyes, vengeance in my mouth. They don't want no altercation. Situation gon' get critical. It's best that you be easy. The end gon' be biblical. Look, flow like a river. It's something like a miracle. Royalty in my veins, loyalty in my ways. Pay back in every breath, plus revenge in my heart. The truth in every word. Bring light into the dark, and I ain't never lukewarm. Shit, I blazing in the season. Got plenty food for thought, just gotta watch who I'm feeding. Now been walking with them angels, so I guess I got this pistol for no reason. Niggas barely breathing, criticizing all my achievements. Won't make me weak, nah, it won't make me slack off. These niggas baby fat soft, better bear witness or back off. I be ripping shit like sackcloth. Dumb dogs all barked out, behind me say I cup full. No room for emotion, so I pour my heart out. This road hard, but I intend to stay. And if it ain't U.P.K, then they in the way. My niggas righteous, they real, they down to suffer. Flow so deep, it drown a motherfucker. He say he in the truth, oh yeah? Well, this the home. And I don't hate them brothers, I'm just too loyal to my own. Plus what they believe, hard for me to follow. No rank me, no head, and I ain't leaving this body to live and sleep in hollow. So when they ask I'm U.P.K, you tell them absolutely. And I ain't trimming my ways for nothing, gotta execute me. Cause I can never die with my tail tucked between my legs. Shit I be thinking, watching my daughters tucked in their bed. They so smart, and Alana, she's so beautiful, but they ain't like other babies, and they daddy far from usual. Now I'm missing cause I'm about my father's business. It ain't about this shit I used to do in that 98 Navy, the 10 leather seats. See, without wisdom, this world make you weak. I found out that the truth was bitter. The lies are sweet, tried everything. I guess me and YAHANNA had to meet. Now I make the blind see, and I make the dead speak. And teach both my little girls the day that they lie with a man, they better bring their bloody bed sheets. Chaos match the time, this Glock match my handpiece. And I ain't trying to take him out, but I will defend this house. Or take a check. 144 in that black trench on some hitman shit. Should call me 47. Praying for Armageddon. Me and my soldiers dressed for the wedding. Fuck the fame. Ask why, tell them I'm loyal to the king. Until the righteous reign. Loyal to the king. I want that straight lane to break the chain. Loyal to the king. The devils can't have me, bitch. I'm loyal to the king. That's right. Bring that hot flame, U.P.K. Loyal to the king. Until the righteous reign. Loyal to the king. I want that straight lane to break the chain. Loyal to the king. The devils can't have me, bitch. I'm loyal to the king. Bring that hot flame, U.P.K. Loyal to the king. Man give his life for YAHANNA, Mashiach, and Christ, and fall up under that U.P.K banner. It's my brother and my blood, and I will die and kill for him if necessary. It's all about that warfare, boy. Back up, it's all about that warfare, boy. Take my soldiers take ground till I'm stand down. Take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down. Take ground. Now this ain't no movement, this a takedown. We will not be moved or intimidated. We ain't the type. You got a problem? Tell them cross the fucking line. My niggas ain't polite. Soldiers to the left and right. I die for every man body. Before I be a coward, I'd rather be a dead body. This will be my kingdom when the hour plays. You can either get with it or get flipped like an hourglass. We live by honor and no excuse. Just sit the prayer up to the Lord. I told him, then let all the terrorists loose. is true, nigga. Cool zone. Go to grab, 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 go to grab. It's all about that warfare, boy. Get grab, get grab, get grab, back up, get grab, get grab, get grab, back up, get grab, get grab. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take grab, 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 take grab. My soldiers take grab till I'm stand down. Take grab, take grab, take grab, take grab, take grab, take grab, take grab. My soldiers take grab till I'm stand down. Oh, thought you could cross us with no consequence, but you will pandemic. You should've used your common sense. My zeal lit, that means you could never prevail. Hey, with a true sin, hey, with warriors dwell. Be wise with the weapons, cause I promise. My nine just like my wife, she concealed, she modest. I know two things, a robber will not prosper. And any man harm me and my aunt gon' meet the doc. Cause this life is warfare, it's not an easy walk. Been watching my people die so you can miss me with that love talk. My U.P.K soldiers, any man try to cross your path, make him regret it. What that means? Fall on his age. Comparing me to you really ain't no contest. Long live one west. Say what? Long live one west. This for those who thinking we ain't ready for. Tell them back up. I'm about to drop something heavy for. Go to grab, 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 go to grab. It's all about that warfare, boy. Get grab, get grab, get grab, back up. Get grab. Get grab, get grab. Back up. Get grab. Get grab. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take grab.
Track Slammers.
Check, 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 check. 144. Hey, hey, 144. That 144. That 144. That 144. I'm calling my soldiers. It's that time. I'm calling my soldiers. Let's get in line. Get in line. Hey, 144. That 144. That 144. That 144. What could I make it up? Calling my soldiers. It's that time. I'm calling my soldiers. Let's get in line. Hey, get in line. Hey. Babylon is falling and we praying for it every day. Change up the game, I had to find myself a better way. People out here struggling cause they can't seem to find a way. Kids don't go outside no more cause it ain't even safe to play. People out here waking up but they don't know which way to turn. Open up them holy scriptures, break them down so they can learn. Devils out here feel like Usher, I suggest you let them burn. If they get to asking question, you just tell them it's our turn. Move like Christ, live like Christ, I'm just trying to get it right. Walk by faith, not by sight, keep the law my guiding light. Move like Christ, live like Christ, I'm just trying to get it right. Walk by faith, not by sight, keep the law my guiding light. 144. 144. 144. I'm calling my soldiers. It's that time. I'm calling my soldiers. Let's get in line. Get in line. 144. 144. 144. 144. I'm calling my soldiers. It's that time. I'm calling my soldiers. Let's get in line. Get in line. Hey. Wrote the verse until begin to hit the page. I'm turning to the east whenever I start to pray this for my soldier, my comrades, no comment, just real men that walking right in the spirit. When the Lord speaks, they hear it. This real life when we bring it, this real truth that we slang it. We seen the pictures they painted, our history they change it, and everything been tainted. And I'm sick of it, and I'm sick of it, so get rid of it, and I'm sick of it, and I'm sick of it. Move like Christ, live like Christ. I'm just trying to get it right. Walk by faith, not by sight. Keep the law, my guiding light. Move like Christ, live like Christ. I'm just trying to get it right. Walk by faith, not by sight. Keep the law, my guiding light. 144, 144, 144, 144. I'm calling my soldiers. It's that time. I'm calling my soldiers. Let's get in line, get in line. 144, 144, 144, 144. I'm calling my soldiers. It's that time. I'm calling my soldiers. Let's get in line, get in line.
Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Yeah, we live, we live. Yeah, there we are. Put a 144 in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Baba Kusha, put a 144 within the chat if you can hear me, Baba Kusha. Shalom, Israel. Nosotros somos la I.S.U.P.K desde la calle 1 Oeste 125, Harlem, Nueva York, bajo el mando del General YAHANNA. Si tú eres Latino, Negro, or Indio Nativio, tú eres Israel. What I said was Shalom, Israel. We are the I.S.U.P.K, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. If you are Latino, Black, or Native Indian, you are an Israelite, all right? You're Israel, or Yasha Allah in the Hebrew. And tonight is our Monday night biblical history class. And I'm Priest and Officer Bon Kayal. We're coming out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, all right? Under Commander General YAHANNA, under Captain I.S.U.P.K, under Zion, Officer 5000 Zion Ya Allah, man. And right now I got Officer Ayathon in the building. He holding down the computer till Officer Quadam get here. And we're going to get right into it, man. All right? There's a lot going on in the earth today. So much information, so much misinformation, you know, but when it comes down to who we are as a nation of people, that's the only thing so-called Negroes, Latinos, and First Nation people should be concerned with. All right. The only concern that we have is getting back to serving our power. And the way we do that is through our identity. We have to understand that we are the Israelites, not Bibi Netanyahu and all the people that are over there bombing the piss out of Palestine. All right. Those are not God's chosen people. That is the synagogue of Satan, according to the book of Revelation. All right. And all throughout the Bible. There's so many other instances as to where, you know, these people are not actually the people that were chosen by God. But you, Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman, and child, you represent God's holy nation. You are the walking, breathing, eating, talking descendants of the children of Israel. That's who you are. That's who we are. You have to get in class to learn who you are, man. You got to get in class to know that a Negro descends from the tribe of Judah. You know, Judah is the fourth born son of Jacob. Who was Jacob? Jacob was the grandson of Abraham, you know, the son of Isaac. Jacob, his name was changed to Israel, man. He wrestled with an angel and received a blessing. Received a blessing. All right. That's what we have to do in modern times. We gotta wrestle, you know, to receive the blessing that we're supposed to have, man, when it comes down to who we are as a nation of people. We descend from a very ancient royal priesthood, man, a royal bloodline. Don't get it twisted. The things that the earth says about Negroes, Latinos, and First Nation peoples, all of those things that they say are a lie. And they do that to keep you from being inspired, to keep you from having hope, to keep you disillusioned with the idea that they're superior to you, to keep you with the idea of that your vote is going to actually change your conditions that you live in the barrio, in the favelas, in the ghetto, in the projects, man. And it's not. Voting hasn't changed a damn thing for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. In fact, when you vote, you become an enemy of God. When you vote for an oppressor to rule over you, that goes against our culture. That goes against our customs. Shalom shkata. That goes against our traditions. All right? We have a king. We have our own government. We have our own military structure. Hey, Shalom shkata. What's up, Nick? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. Officer Quadam just stepped in the house. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, we in here, you know? But we have to understand, man, that our identity is everything. We've been disillusioned with believing that we're African Americans, and then what's after two oppressors, Amerigo Vespucci, Leo Scipio Africanus. They got us believing that we are the descendants of those that live on a rich port, calling us Puerto Ricans. And what is the Dominicans? The Dominican Simeonites, right? Dominican means dog, if I'm not mistaken. You know, and it's like, I think Captain Katazar, Salakia, sir, I believe I heard him say that somewhere, man. You know, but I'm only giving you what was given to me. We're not making up anything. These things are the actual facts, the actual factuals when it comes down to our experience. And we live in hell, man. I don't care if you got a bag. If you got a little bit of money, you still are in hell. Hell is a condition, all right? Heaven and hell are conditions. And as long as we are on the bottom, underneath pocket tyrants, like those that are ruling over the earth right now, man, we're going to continue to be in hell. This is why it's important for us to separate, all right? And I'm not talking about going back to Africa, going back to some goddamn mud hut in the middle of God knows where. Don't send me back to Africa. I don't have any ties to the land of Africa, man. We were there for a period of time seeking asylum when our kingdom, our righteous, when our kingdom fell, man, which was in Jerusalem, man. We are the living descendants of the people that once lived in that ancient city. You got to come to grips with that, man. All right. All right. If you can, Officer Ayatham, before Officer Quadam get in here, can you give me the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4? And I want to talk about the intentional erasure of our heritage, of our history, of our identity. There's been a very conscious attempt, an initiative to erase not just the crimes against our people, but the so-called accomplishments of our people. When I say our people, I'm talking about Black people. I'm talking about Hispanic people. I'm talking about the so-called Native Americans, all right? And this recent administration, this current administration, you know, we're going to pull an article about Donald Trump removing anything that disparages the identity of America from the national parks. I think that is a good segue into, you know, our topic, you know. If you can't give me the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. Yeah, is it muted? It may be muted. Yeah.
Check.
Most High Christ, you with us?
Comic-Con, it's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. It says, and thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee.
Ooh-wee. There's a lot to unpack there. We're in the book of Jeremiah, man. This ain't the New Testament, right?
Right.
This is the Old Testament. Talking about Jeremiah. He was a prophet, man. Just like Isaiah, just like, Moses. Who are the prophets today? You better not say Joel Oilsheen. You better not say John Gray, or what's the one that wants you to grow weed? The bastard in Atlanta wants you to grow weed. He got ran out of Baltimore. It should be. Yeah, there you go. You might have to turn the gain up on it. Yeah, you may have to adjust the gain. Check.
There we go.
There it is. Yeah. Produced by Officer Bonkayal, you know what I'm saying?
Jamal Bryant.
Yeah. Jamal Bryant, man. He's not teaching you about your true heritage. Those preachers, they're teaching you a philosophy that's going to keep you on the bottom as a slave to white society, as a slave to the white man. All right. Jamal Bryant is a coon. He's not a prophet like Jeremiah. All right. He doesn't stand for the Lord.
Right.
He does the opposite. He's a prosperity preacher.
Mm-hmm.
His God is mammon. You just make sure your God is not mammon. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman and child. We have to understand what our heritage is. We're a nation of priests, man. We are royalty. When we say that we're royalty, we absolutely mean that. You look at who the world deems as royalty and why. Why are they deemed royalty? Is it because of their bloodline? No. The Bible says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Right. The people that rule the earth, they are wicked, meaning they are morally bad and evil. These people don't keep God's laws, statutes, or commandments. These people, their moral compass is non-existent. They have no morals. All right. That's why you have to look to the priests and the prophets, man. Right. Who's pointing you back to this book? Who's pointing you back to the Bible? Who's pointing you back to serving the Lord? Jamal Bryant ain't teaching you about the memorial blowing of trumpets. Nope. He's not teaching you about the Day of Atonement. He's not teaching you about Hanukkah, man. He's not teaching you about the Passover. He's not teaching you about keeping the Sabbath, man. But he is teaching you how to be a good goddamn slave here in America. He's teaching you how to join a fraternity or a sorority. Right. He's teaching you how to be a drug addict, man. He's teaching you how to worship other gods, many other gods.
Right.
Always hearken upon how Christianity promotes polytheism, or the worship of many gods. You can look at the oppressor's holiday system, and at the root of all of his holidays is another deity with a little g, man. There's no life in these idols that we worship. That's why it's so important, the job that we do in here. This is a very thankless job. Our people hate us because we stand between them and what? Them having a good time?
So like,
go ahead, brother.
So like Book of Jeremiah 7 and 8 says, "Behold, ye trust in lying words that cannot profit."
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Like we fall into that Christianity and think that just because sin don't come quick, or you get that job that you've been wanting, or you start making you some bread, you understand? We think that, oh, everything must be good. God want me to have this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the Bible says that you trust in lying words that don't even profit you.
Right. We what is it? How's that scripture go? We equate gain with godliness.
Right.
I'm paraphrasing, obviously. Just because you see a brother that got a bag, you automatically think God is with him. You don't know what he did to get that bag. You don't know how he compromised himself, who he sold out in order to attain that wealth, man, those riches. Some of the most evil, wicked people on earth are the richest people on earth. That's Go right. ahead, Officer Ayathon.
Come on. And verse 9 say, "Will ye steal, murder, and commit adultery, and swear falsely, and burn incense unto Baal, and walk after other gods whom ye know not?
Yeah. How are we walking after the other gods that we know not? We serving gods of wood and stone today, right now. Oh, go ahead, Salaki.
In verse 10, and come and stand before me in this house, which is called by my name, and say, we are delivered to do all these abominations. Verse 11, is this house, which is called by my name, become a den of robbers in your eyes? Behold, even I have seen it, said the Lord. But verse 12, but go ye now unto my place, which was in Silo, where I set my name at first, and see what I did to it for the wickedness of my people Israel.
Damn.
You understand? The Lord said, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can sit here and say, and do all these things, all these abominations, you understand, in his eyes, and then call the Christian church his house. You understand? But the Lord say, go see where I called my house first and see what the hell I did to that.
Right.
You understand? He destroyed Silo, man.
Right.
It's a lie.
No, damn right. Give him a hand. He's on point with it. So this is what you got to understand whenever you talk about the Bible, whenever you pick up this holy book, man, this is the ancient record. This is a living book. This is the living record of God's chosen people. And it's always one river, one flow, and it's always in the direction of the Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's about. You know, if it wasn't about that, then, you know, make it make sense. Christ himself was an Israelite.
Right.
Christ himself was from the tribe of Judah. It's always been about the tribes, man. It's been about God's chosen, period. All right. So right now we're in Jeremiah. My brother's reading out of Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. Read it again.
Khan, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee.
What is a heritage? What is a heritage, man? For time's sake, when you think of a heritage, think of your history. Think of the cultural traditions, things that were commonplace to you and your people. Think about the language that we have. What language do we speak now?
Hebrew.
Yeah, we speak Hebrew.
Oh, so like we speak English now.
Yeah,
so
we speak English. We speak Spanish. We speak in French and Portuguese. We speak in all these bastardized tongues, man. Well, we should be speaking the Lashawan Kodash.
Right.
We should be speaking the tongue of angels, man. We should be speaking the tongue of God. Go ahead, Officer Kodar.
So like I said, it's the definite Merriam-Webster definition of heritage.
Right.
It says something transmitted by or acquired from a predecessor.
Right. So when you think of our predecessors, what made Abraham special? What made Isaac special in the sight of the Lord? What made Jacob special to the Most High Power? Keep reading.
Khan says something possessed as a result of one's natural situation or birth, aka birthright.
Ooh, this is our birthright, man. The kingdom of heaven is our birthright.
So like, I think you missed definition 1.
Yeah, I was just about to read
it next. It says property that descends to an heir.
So when I say that we're royalty, you know, we are heirs to the kingdom of heaven, man. We are heirs to being in authority over the earth. I mean, what are you fighting for? You fighting just to continue to pay taxes?
Right.
You fighting to continue to have someone that would grab a woman by her box to rule over you and to desecrate, you know, the history, their evil, wicked history. They trying to erase it from everything. They're taking it out of the school books. They're censoring, you know, every platform, whether it be social media or all forms of entertainment. He's looking at the national parks. What do you do when you go to a national? Matter of fact, I'm gonna share that. Let me pull that up. Yeah, because this really got my attention, and I think it's worth talking about, man. I think it's absolutely worth talking about Continue reading that. And even thou thyself shall discontinue from thine heritage. We discontinue from our identity, us being called Yasha'Allah, man, us being called Israel. We look into another people calling them by our name.
Right.
We look into another people calling them the children of God because they inhabit the place that fell in 70 AD. God don't know those people, man. He knows us. He knows so-called Negroes, Latinos, and First Nation peoples. That's all he knows, man. All right. And I'm going to be intensely repetitive intentionally whenever I speak about our people. All right. Because I'm talking to you. It's very, very important. The whole earth will disregard you. They'll give you names like ADOS, African descendants of slaves. They'll call you POCs or persons of color. And then you got some damn Chinese man claiming to be a POC, man. Those terms, man. You're an Israelite. All right. Don't forget that. Right. That's your heritage. And it was given to us by God. Oh, Shalom Shkatah. Salak Yadawan. You want the class? Most High in Christ. Yeah. Our heritage was given to us by the hand of the Most High Power, man. By Yahweh. All right. So I pulled this article up. Matter of fact, let's do it like this so we can get to it. Yeah. All right. So if you can you see that, Officer Padal, whomever?
It says National Parks removing historical items. Trump administration found disparaged U.S.
So when you think of give me the definition of disparaged. What would be a disparaging thing when it comes down to us? When you think about something that would disparage the identity of Black people, yeah. What do they say with respect to society, our identity? Because they say the Mexicans are what? What do they say about the Mexicans?
What they call? I don't know, sir.
They call them wetbacks.
Oh yeah, wetbacks.
Right?
He call them essays.
They call them essays. Yeah. But those are disparaging terms, right? When you think about Black people, are all Black people lazy? Right. Are all Black people unintelligent? Are Black people ugly? Those are things that disparage Black people. Give me the definition of disparage.
It's the Merriam-Webster definition that says to belittle the importance or value of someone or something.
How do we get belittled? How do we get belittled? Not just in America, but globally.
So, like you, sir, if I may, one of the things that he said is, "What do you have to lose? You might as well vote for me." You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you ain't black. You ain't Black if you don't vote for the oppressor. Right. Go ahead, Otto.
So like I remember I heard a story about little oppressor children walking up to the Lord's chosen Black, Hispanics, Native Indians, rubbing their skin to see if they was told I was hearing stories about see if they can rub the color off of them as if their skin color was wrong or something.
Right.
Like you ever see like oppressors children walk up to you and they rub your skin?
Right.
How you thinking something wrong with the color of your skin?
They do. Yeah, I seen it was a little real, and I guess the dude, it was a brother, and this is the thing, we be out of pocket, man. We be in places. Go ahead, Adawan.
So they do the same thing to our children's hair too.
Right.
Like you thinking like, something is wrong with having an afro,
right,
or braids. You understand?
Right.
Because that's what they do.
Right.
They rub your skin and rub your hair out.
Rub your skin, rub your hair.
They used to, remember, you see some of them old slave narrative, they will open the slave's mouth up to check their teeth.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can't have a Negro serving me food with bad teeth. That's the what the oppressor would say. When they put you on them auction blocks, they're looking at you. They're looking at your physique. Kind of reminds me of an NFL combine. Right. You can't do the combine without taking your clothes off. You have naked. They go so far as to look at your genes. They want to know who your father was, who your mother was, who were their parents. Almost like you know, when you're looking at the pedigree of a dog.
Salagi.
Go ahead, brother.
They do that in Esau military and MIPS.
Oh, they go when you go through MEPS.
Yeah, you got to literally like you naked, like.
Oh yeah, I want to
Yeah.
see if you got a slew. If you got knock knees and you slew footed. Yeah, that's gonna, you know, that's gonna reduce your value. You flat footed, all of that. You know, that's gonna reduce your value. I'm not gonna be able to, you know, I'm not gonna spend top dollar on a compromised slave.
Right.
You know. But yeah, I was watching this video, and I don't know. I guess it was like at some tailgate, and it was a brother. I'm presuming it was a brother. He was a person of color, and he was like, "Oh, change your team, wrong team, wrong team." And he was talking to. It looked like she was a Moabite, and she turned to him and she said, "Change the color of your skin." You seen that? Yeah, I'm thinking like, dang, you know, they hate us. The nations hate us with a passion. They hate us, hate everything about us, man. But they try to emulate the things that we do, our greatness. They try to take our spirit, man. I see all types of advertisements, and I could tell there was a black person somewhere within that, you know, that boardroom influencing the direction of this marketing, because there's no way. Some of the verbiage that we use, we teach our enemies because we're so close to them, we're attached to them, we're in servitude to them. So they study us and they see the way that we walk, the way that we talk, the way that we dress. The things that are cool to us become cool to them. I never seen a devil with rims, man. That was not their thing. But now you see full out white boys with rims on their vehicles, man. If I see another white boy with a do-rag, man, I mean, make sense. You know, we make their own fashion, you know, popular. I remember it was a time when Tommy Hilfiger was everything. Brothers was you know how we have a zeal for, we like color, we like things that are colorful. So Tommy Hilfiger, his clothing, you know, it was attractive. I'm grateful that I had an aunt that was somewhat, you know, in tune with what was going on. And apparently Tommy Hilfiger allegedly said that he didn't want black people wearing his clothes. So whenever we went to go school shopping, we could get anything, Nautica, Polo, you know, all of that. We could get Nike, Timberland, all of that. I remember we got Old Navy and we thought Old Navy was it because we didn't have an Old Navy in Fayetteville. We could get everything but Tommy. You could not get Tommy because he hated, or he made those disparaging comments. He didn't want black people to wear his clothing. He didn't make his clothing for black people, allegedly. All right. So give me that definition of disparage or disparaging.
Khan, it says to belittle the importance or value of someone or something, to speak slightingly about someone or something.
Okay.
It says to lower someone or something in rank or reputation.
Man,
degrade.
We've been degraded. We've been dehumanized. We was only 3/5 a person at one point in time in this empire. You get a felony and you get sent to prison, you literally have been relegated to the status of a slave. You're no longer an American citizen. You're a slave. And that's evil and wicked, man, because you're supposed to be, you know, God's chosen people. You're supposed to be a descendant from that royal lineage. All right. Keep reading that verse in Jeremiah 17:4.
Khan says, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knewest not.
Yeah.
For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
So because of us discontinuing from our heritage, so if we discontinue from our heritage, what heritage did we choose? What heritage did we go after? What did we think was more attractive than what the Lord gave us?
Salaki, sir. Africanism, Kemet.
Golly, what the hell is attractive about that? What the hell is attractive about flies, man?
Dashikis. Good night.
Now,
Salaki.
go ahead. I don't want.
God.
Yo, wow.
The attraction comes from the idea that I don't have to listen to my parents anymore. The attraction comes from I don't have to live like my grandparents used to live.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go and fetch my water out of a well. I want my water running to my house. The attraction is I don't want to have to feed these animals out with a trough every day. I want to go into the city. You understand what I'm saying? The attraction comes from making the idea that our lives can become easier when we do things that are not traditional for us.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
This is like appeal. It's
Yeah,
appealing.
right. It's what's the word what's the word I was saying I had done about when a doctor give you medicine that's not medicine, it's
A placebo.
it's placebo, right?
Right.
And it's the idea that our lives can be easier. Yeah, we may have to deal with a little bit of headache. You may be belittled, called a nigga. You understand? You may be spit on, but the gain that you will get by doing what everybody else is doing, it's worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Going to school with them, it's worth them spitting on you, calling you a nigga. What's the word we were just looking up?
Disparage.
You can be dealing with the disparaging remarks because the gain that you will get
Right.
is better than what your grandparents had.
Mm.
That's it. And that's why the Lord said when we go amongst these other nations, we can't look at them as having value in what they're doing.
Right.
Because their system is flawed. Because you will be devalued if we join with the other nations. Why not stay with your brothers and sisters and we should see the value in one another? I don't give a damn what we go into. You will see that nobody's going to value you like a father would. You understand?
That's right.
Nobody's going to value like a mother would. So leaving home and going out, that's why we talk about the prodigal son. Him leaving and having the parties and being frivolous and having a good time.
He already had everything.
And still realize, you know what? I better find my way back home.
Right.
Our brothers and sisters found out that following the ways of the world is folly, but it's still attractive to us.
Yeah.
It's still attractive. All of us go through it at one point.
Right.
You know what your parents told you to do. You know exactly how they lay it, if they cared, if they loved you. You understand?
Right.
They loved you. They probably asked them, like, God damn it, I can't wait to get out of this motherfucking house. Salaki.
Right.
I can't wait to get out on my own.
Now that's spot on.
Yeah. I can't wait to leave this. Well,
Yeah.
I listen to all these rules.
Right.
I can go over here and stay with Tom. His mama let him do whatever that he want, but you go and live with Tom, you'll find out his parents don't love him at all.
At all.
At all. Y'all probably remember this commercial where this black kid invited his white friend over here, invited his white friend over to his house, and his mom like, you better get in there, clean that room up, da, 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 da.
Right.
And the white kid tell the black kid, hey, this is your room, buddy. She can't talk to you like that. You know what I'm saying? So listen, so he goes and kick it with Tom, and Tom got cats and dogs on the dinner table, eating with him and all this. You realize very quick, let me go back and just listen to what my parents were saying.
That's right.
And I think when we look for value outside of our own families we're looking for value outside of us. And we're quickly reminded that there is no value in choosing the other nations over what the Most High has given us. Salaki.
No, damn right. Give him a hand. He's right.
That was long-winded, Salaki.
No. You too wild, by the way. I'm long-winded. No, you're absolutely right, man. You know, us not recognizing that we have everything. You know, it said that and thou even thyself shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. So, you know, we compromise ourselves because of disobedience. And it's a very vain thing. you know, your parents will tell you to do one thing, and then you'll go and do the complete opposite of that thing that you were told to do. We all, like you said, we all go through that. But hindsight is 2020. In retrospect, you look back and be like, damn, I was a fool. Why didn't I listen to what my mom said? All these brothers, whores. They were absolute whores. I should have listened to mama. This is puppy love. These little feelings that I'm feeling are insignificant. Then you get Commander General YAHANNA, you know, teaching you that, you know, you shouldn't be led by your emotions, especially as a man. You know, what kind of soldier is led by their emotion? And it's all about feeling. A lot of the decisions that we make is contingent to how we feel, and not so much based off of us, you know, being introspective, us actually studying the thing and making a wise decision. It's very, very important, man. You know, that's that Martin Luther King ism, where he looked and he saw white women and he thought that white women were attractive. Betty Moitz. He looked and he saw the white swimming pools, and he was wondering, you know, we don't recognize the value of the things that we have in the settings where we live. We have everything that we need. This is why the scriptures say that we should gather together, because we're not desired by the other nations. We go into these white-only establishments and they want to make nigga pie out of us. And it don't matter about your money. You remember in that movie, he wanted to turn the whites-only pies into Negro pies, right? And he thought that his money was going to erase the fact that they hate us, right, with a perpetual hatred. That in itself was like so poetic, man. You know, so don't matter about your money. It doesn't matter about your status, how much education you get, how much education you attain. You're going to always be hated in this place. And we got to recognize that the Most High Power established us as being the royalty on planet Earth. We have to recognize what our heritage is, what our history is. We got to get back into this book and recognize all the sacrifices of our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Not a vain sacrifice, like you getting water hoses turned on you and goddamn German shepherds because you want to, you know, eat at the lunch counter in the Woolworths. That was stupid. That was pointless, because you want to desegregate the school system. You ever heard of the trench coat mafia? You ever heard of Columbine? You ever heard of Sandy Hook? Those things don't happen in black schools and black establishments. We've forgotten, man, what the Lord gave us. And it starts with our identity, all right? Keep reading, Officer Quadam. And I
will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
Right.
For ye have kindled a fire, kindle a fire, and my anger which shall burn forever.
Yeah, we're serving our enemies, the Lord says. We're serving our enemies. If you're a so-called black man, think about where you go. Your slavery. Who's the boss? Who's the one pulling the strings? Who's telling you where to go and how to get there, man? We are in servitude unto our enemies, man. These are not our brothers. And that's the danger of the Christian church. Christianity teaches that God loves everyone. And then you think about there is neither Greek nor Jew. You don't even understand the context of who was speaking in that scripture, man. It's always been about Israel. It's always been about Yasha Allah. It's always been about God's chosen people. All right. We got to understand these things. All right. This land, this is not a land that we know. We had our own land. We had our own kingdom, man, that the Most High Power allowed us to establish. And we had to follow very specific instructions in order to attain that kingdom, in order to build the kingdom. Think about the instructions that it took for us to build the temple. The Lord he's not accepting anything other than what he expects.
Right.
All right. It says, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever, because we have forgotten who we are as a nation of people, man. I'm gonna remind you who the hell we are. All right. As so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Give me the book of 1 Peter, chapter 2, verse 9. Book of 1 Peter, chapter 2, verse 9. And we're still holding this article. I really think this article is interesting.
It's the book of 1 Peter, chapter 2, verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation,
Right?
a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
All right, here we go. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. But ye, here we go again, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. When I say black, I'm not talking African. I'm not talking about the Aborigines. I'm talking about you, the so-called Negro, all right? Had a conversation with a brother in the parking lot last night. And he says, I don't know who my father is. I said, 9 times out of 10, you probably an Israelite, because that was one of our curses, man. All right. But ye are a chosen generation. Chosen by who? Because we're hated by everyone. We're a nation that's not desired by all the other nations. So who chose us? Who chose so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to represent him on earth, man? It's the Most High. All right. We were chosen by God to be a what? A royal priesthood. It's not about Queen Elizabeth. It's not about Prince Harry. Those are heathens. What we say, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. That is the offspring of the wicked. That is the heritage of the evil on earth. And you can look at their familial history and you can see this is the reason why we call them colonizers. Because of all the blood that was shed for them to colonize different places in the earth, man. All right. A holy nation. That word holy means separate. That's it. Holy means separate. It's not what the church teaches about holy. What you might think is holy is somebody dressed in purple in a goddamn choir robe singing, no, that's not holy, man. All right. Holy just means to be separate, man. And that's who we are as a nation of people. We have a separate spirit on us, a separate vibe. We don't look, we don't talk, we don't think, we don't speak, we don't act like any other nation on earth because we are holy unto the Most High, man. A peculiar people. What does it mean to be peculiar? What does it mean to be peculiar? The things that we do are so strange to the other nations. So strange, but they are intrigued by us. Go ahead, Officer Quadam.
Kind of says the peculiar characteristic of only one person, group, or thing, distinctive. It says different from the usual or normal.
Yeah, we are unusual. We're not usual. We're not like the everyday average, man. We are peculiar. It's good to be peculiar. It's good to be different. Who the hell wants to be like everyone else? Who wants to look like everyone else? Who wants to sound like everyone else? You don't even want to dress like everyone else. We're peculiar. Our food is not like any other food. I mean, we have the best cuisine on earth. Who the hell don't like soul food, man? Who don't like Mexican, so-called Mexican food? I ain't never met a person that said they don't like a damn taco. Keep reading. That ye what?
Come. But ye are in a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
Man, we're a holy family, man. And it's very, very important that we what? It says, show forth the praises of him. We don't praise the Lord, man. We don't acknowledge the Most High Power at all in anything that we do. Anything of greatness, we don't acknowledge the God of this Bible. We acknowledge the oppressor's Lord and Savior. They say Jesus and don't know a damn thing about Christ from the Bible. They don't know that Christ was a very dark-skinned black man from the tribe of Judah. They don't know that. They don't know that Christ lived in the goddamn ghetto in Nazareth. We don't know that as a people because of the Christian church, because of the lies of Islam. Go ahead, Ottawa.
And so, like, I think a lot of people, I know this is gonna sound kind of strange when I say this, but YAHANNA didn't know Christ, if that makes sense.
Say that again.
YAHANNA did not know Christ. He knew the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
You understand? Meaning, like, YAHANNA is who we know. We'll say Christ today. We know how YAHANNA Mashiach mean what?
The anointed,
Savior
man.
and anointed,
Yeah,
right?
Savior and anointed. That's
right. So that means that's how we know him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't walk around saying that. He wasn't saying that. He knew who he was by being obedient to our Father and recognizing his importance to his nation.
Right.
You understand?
So Matthew 1 and 21, right? You talking about the name of Christ, right? And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name who? YAHANNA, right? For he shall save his people from their sins. This is very important, man. You talking about Christ didn't know YAHANNA, but he knew what his purpose was. He knew that his purpose was to what? To die for the sins of his people. He was a sacrificial lamb for Israel. Go ahead, brother.
And so like it just added on what he's saying is heavy because you think about it. Anytime he did a miracle, he said, what? Go and tell no one.
Don't tell no one.
You know what I'm saying? Don't give me no recognition. Get the most high of glory and power.
Where do you think Kevin Gates got that from, man?
Come on, man. Not this guy.
Where do you think Kevin Gates got that from, man? He got that from Christ, man.
Right.
But he's a Muslim.
I would
just right. You wild. I was just out here tripping.
So if I may, that's heavy you say that because why he didn't quote Muhammad or anything he said. You know what I'm saying? He had to quote YAHANNA, and I've noticed that with a lot of Muslims. They talk so down about the Bible, but that's all they know is the Bible, which is Muslims today ain't nothing but modern day Christians any damn way. So I
seen a meme where they had Farrakhan and he was like, getting sucked up into a chariot. And it was like Farrakhan going to see his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And I was like, man, that's heavy. That's heavy because they weigh on our identity, our heritage, our history. They're not talking about Muhammad. They ain't talking about, Allah. They talking about Christ. They're talking about YAHANNA. So you might as well, come into the school, man. Anyhow, where we at, Officer Quadon?
It says 1 Peter 2 and 9.
Right.
At the top it says, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation,
right,
a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
Yeah, man, we've been called out of darkness. You think of what darkness is, it masquerades as light today. Everything that is wicked and evil, violent, disgusting is promoted to God's chosen people as being the way, to life. They point you in the direction of the church, thinking that that's going to save you, thinking that's going to make you a better man or a better woman. When the second you step foot in that church is the second that you destroy yourself, man. It's the second that you will never attain the greatness that was meant for you. Being the chosen generation. Most High Power didn't put you on earth to be in some damn church sitting in the pew, listening to some Bible-toting Bama, man. You should have been here last night. That right there was marvelous. That was glorious. It was family in here last night, man. Getting to see the children grow up, man. That's a beautiful thing. That right there was a semblance into what the kingdom of heaven would look like. All the ribs in order, the children in order, the brothers doing what they're supposed to do in order, holding their post. Man, that was a beautiful thing. You think about the memorial blowing of trumpets. That's what we are to our nation, man. We are a trumpet. We're crying aloud and sparing not, man. We're trying to show our people, their transgressions. It's very, very important that we recognize that. You hate the I.S.U.P.K because we're telling you to separate your spirit from America. We're telling you to put down the pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. Stop smoking weed. Leave whores alone. Stop sleeping with strange women. No, if you're an Israelite, so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you can't love whoever you want to love. You can't love a white woman. You can't love a Chinese woman. You can't deal with an East Indian. You can't do any of those things, man. All right? We're trying to get back to our cultural identity, man. Get back to our heritage. All right? So, Officer Kodam, let's shift gears here. And I got this article pulled up. Let's talk about this article real quick. Because I really wanted to talk about the intentional erasure of Israel. All right. It's very, very interesting what's happening in real time as far as America is concerned. Now, our people are scattered all across the globe. I don't want to be dismissive of what our brothers and sisters are dealing with wherever they are outside of North America, man, North, Central, South America. All right. But this is what we're dealing with here in America. This is what we're dealing with across the globe. All right. And it says what this is according to NPR, okay, who has come under fire here recently by this administration. You read the title?
National parks removing historical items. Trump administration found disparaged U.S.
And we talked about that term disparaged, right? And what that actually means. All right. So anything that would disparage the U.S. would be reflective in a negative light against the America. So when you think about you doing dirt, everybody should know. You don't want nobody to know the dirt that you've done.
Right.
You don't want to be reminded of all the evil and wicked that you've done. So you're going to do your best to conceal that. You're going to do your best to hide it. You're going to do your best to make sure that evil that you did never sees the light of day.
Right.
But it's very, very, very prophetic that the things that are hidden, they're going to be revealed. They're supposed to come to light.
That's right.
All right. Instead of you saving face and basically admitting that you were wrong. This is the pride of our oppressor, man.
Right.
He will never concede to his own pride, man. That's what's going to destroy him, his pride, and the lust thereof, all right, which is something that the Lord hates, all right? Keep reading, Salakia.
It says national parks across the country face a deadline today.
That was what, last week? Keep reading.
The Trump administration had instructed them to address any signs, statutes, or memorials it believes reflect negatively on the country.
So when you think of signs or statues or memorials that leave a negative reflection on America, what comes to mind? You can think of when we go to Charlotte. We right there in Trade and Market Street. They got 4 different pillars at the intersection. One of, I guess, like a pioneer, like during the 49ers, during the gold rush. They got somebody with a pan sifting through the gold. They got a woman, but I see a slave there. There is a huge, probably 25, 30-foot statue of a slave right there in the corner of Trade and Market in downtown Charlotte, man. Well, uptown Charlotte. These devils don't want to be reminded of their original sin.
Right.
They don't want to be reminded of that blot of slavery, man. What do you think our children think when they see that? What kind of questions are formulating in their minds when they see that? And they see the other three images, then they see that enslaved person. That was an attempt to join us together by them creating that artwork in Charlotte, man. Go ahead, brother.
So I guess, sir, the Theodore Roosevelt statue,
Yeah,
where it got him on the horses, and then you got a Gadite and a Judite brother, right, walking right beside him.
right. But see, that statue doesn't represent it's not in a disparaging light when it comes down to America. That statue has a devil on the horse who was a servant according to what the Bible says, you know. So that's how they prop themselves up to be greater than what they actually are in the sight of God, you know. And so you think about that. You think about Emmett Till, his memorial. They hate Emmett Till so much they still shoot up his tombstone, man. They still shoot up the marker, the historical marker that denotes where that actually happened geographically in Money, Mississippi. They shoot it up. There's bullet holes all over the damn thing, man. And it's like, damn, who would you see what happened? The brother was destroyed. The brother got destroyed because of what? The wolf whistle, whistling at a white woman, man. Carolyn Donham Bryant whistling at this whore of a heathen, and he got unalived, man, at the hands of our oppressor. So, yeah, we found out that was a lie, right?
But what happened to the limitation of
Yeah, there is no statute of limitations on murder, apparently. Yeah, there is no statute of limitations on murder. There might be on grape. It's definitely statute of limitations on grape, though. You know, we ain't seen them files just yet. You know what I'm saying? Where's the sniper at? Where Remy on the roof? Where Remy on the roof at? Good night, Salakia. You trying to get us, you know, kicked off the platform. But keep reading the article, brother. Salakia.
Kawakata says, now that executive orders was issued back in March, and it was named Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History.
Restoring what?
Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History.
Man, this is craziness, man. Restoring truth. You look at the history of America, American history, man. What actually happened? Not what they teaching in the schools. What actually happened? Who came over here to establish this great land of America, man? And how, through conquest, did they attain America? Through grape, through robbery, through mass unalivings. I was just talking to my brother the other night about the Native American Indian Wars, man. Over 315 years, the Native Indian went to war with the so-called white man. Went to war with him. He's actually the red man, but went to war with these devils, man. It was fighting. They was fighting to maintain their traditions, to keep their heritage, to keep their culture, to keep their lands. But the Bible says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And Gad was overcome by a troop, overtaken by a troop. So like I'm paraphrasing, you know. But it's really, really important when you think about the truth of America, the Americas, when you think about North, Central, South America, the Caribbean, and these oppressors. You think about George Washington owned slaves. Thomas Jefferson owned slaves. Andrew Jackson, you know, and the things that they did, the things that they put into play when it comes down to their laws, their statutes, the way that they wanted to formulate America as far as their constitution. They didn't consider us human beings. They didn't consider us men. And what do they say? We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. They weren't talking about the so-called Negro. They weren't talking about the Latinos. They weren't talking about the Native Americans or the First Nation peoples. They didn't consider us as even being human beings, man. That's the truth. So what truth are they talking about, man? These are the people that teach your children to have an imagination. They want your child to be off in goddamn La La Land instead of focusing on the brass tacks as the facts. See, we don't live in the metaverse in the I.S.U.P.K, man. We live in real time. We live in reality. We're not disillusioned by, vain philosophy. You can't just, tell us a thing and we believe it. We read out of this Bible, and this Bible is truth to us. All right. It's a comic book to you. All right. Keep reading that article, Salakia.
Wakanda says NPR's Frank Langfitt has been reporting on this story.
I hate to cut you off. And it says not just restoring truth, but it says insanity to American history. So to think about what we went through, and you think about us with the transatlantic slave trade, which was over 400 years, and you think about what happened with the Native Americans, you think about the Trail of Tears, and then the Long Walk, and you think about what are the blankets they gave our people, man? Yeah, smallpox blankets and normal schools. You think about the conditions on the reservation and where the reservations were established. Say that again. Yeah, it's called a normal school. They're trying to normalize you into normal. Yeah, a normal school was a boarding school. The boarding school is where you go, that's where you eat, and that's where you sleep. It's not like the traditional schools that our kids, they get up and they leave out of their house, go catch a bus, then they come back home. Yeah, exactly.
That sounds like college.
Yeah, but that's a boarding school. The normal schools, they're trying to normalize the Native Americans into American customs. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like modern day vagrancy laws, man. You think about what happens if you skip school? I forget what you call it, truancy, right? Right? Google that real quick. Give me the definition of truancy. I believe that's what it is. When you think about what happened to the Native Indians, and then being forced, the philosophy was to kill the Indian and save the man. So it was like, damn, that's crazy. That's a psyop there. How you kill the Indian? What is it?
It says truancy, the action of staying away from school without good reason, absenteeism.
So I just had to make sure, but yeah, truancy, right? Yeah, skipping school. That right there is on the books. That's you can't allow your children to stay home today. You better make sure that you're homeschooling them, or you'll be charged with truancy, right? Because you have to be taught these customs in order for you to endure the process of Americanization. Sociologists talk about the process of any ethnic group coming to America and learning the customs and the cultural traditions of this place. We're supposed to be a melting pot, but we're not a melting pot. We're not this homogeneous mixture, we come from different places and we bring our cultures, our customs, our traditions, our languages here. And this is literally a powder keg, man. We will never be able to coexist because the Most High Power didn't establish that. This right here, America is an experiment. It truly is.
Right.
And we're talking about bringing or restoring sanity to American history. American history was insanity.
Right.
Think about the things that the American did, the so-called what the white man did when he was here. It was all wicked and evil from its inception, man. All right, keep reading, Salakia.
Come on, sir. NPR's Frank Langford has been reporting on this story. So, Frank, why did President Trump order this review in the first place?
So we're just reading a transcript. All right, keep reading.
Con. It says Frank Langford, it's like a Langford byline. Well, he says over the past decade, there's been an attempt to rewrite our history, driven by left-wing ideology instead of truth.
Oh, wow. So we already know his position, right? Because he said there's been an attempt to rewrite our history. So he's aligning himself with American idealism. I'm pretty sure he's a Christian nationalist. I'm pretty sure he's with that whole evangelical movement, man. Right. You know, keep reading.
And he wants the parks to focus on what he says, instead the nation's great achievements, and not disparage Americans who either passed or living.
Right.
He's also ordered a similar review of the Smithsonian museums.
So that if you're familiar with Washington D.C., you know, they on the Washington Mall they have many different museums there. And I remember when I was in high school, I went to the so-called Holocaust Museum. Yeah, I went to the so-called Holocaust Museum, and it was a big thing. And then you think about they got the Museum of Natural History. They have, like you said, Officer Ayathon, the African American History Museum is there, and that is what has triggered him. You know, because I'm sure that when them devils go through there, they don't want to be reminded of the evils of their forefathers. They don't want to be reminded of the evils of George Washington and how he would take his slaves because of the laws. He would cycle his slaves back through different zones so that they could continue to be slaves in perpetuity. You know, we'll keep reading the article, Salaki. I don't want to.
Come. It says Martinez. Okay, so there are 63 national parks all over the United States.
Right.
I mean, how many items is the Park Service looking at? I mean, what kind of job is this? Langford. Yeah, I was talking to Park Service people yesterday, and they were saying that they're looking at more than 1,000 items that employees have reported around the country.
So the people that work in these parks, they feel some type of way about having to elaborate to the tourist, having to identify these specific things about America's past. They feel like it's disrespectful to America to talk about how they treated the Native Indian, how they treated the so-called Negro, how they treated the Latinos, man. Keep reading.
Sir. It says much of the content revolves around the history of slavery.
Around the history of what?
Of slavery.
Who the hell does that involve? The history of slavery. That would be you, so-called black man, a Negro here in America, man. That's your ties to America. We were literally the foundation of the labor force here in America, man. We built America. We built America and all of its treasure cities, man. All right, keep reading.
For instance, the administration wants this graphic photo taken down at one park. It's of an enslaved man who was whipped so hard, his scars on his back. The Washington Post first reported this.
So we've all seen the image. I forget the name of the brother, man. That poor brother, man, who was mutilated at the hands of some wicked bastard, man, some devil. What was the name of the slave, Officer Quadon?
The name of the movie that Will Smith played in is Emancipation.
Right, but what was the name?
And
of
it says American historical action thriller film direct. Oh, it's like hold on.
No, I feel you because inspired
by the true story of Whipped Peter.
Whipped Peter. damn, he can't just be Peter. He has to be recognized by what our oppressor did in brutalizing him. He's whipped Peter now. I couldn't imagine what the photographer, how he felt when he took that image, man. That his real name was what?
Yeah,
Good night, man.
no.
It's sickening. They want that picture taken down. They want that picture removed. They don't want to be reminded of that. Go ahead, brother.
What's crazy is he played a major role in the Civil War. You understand? Like he was a slave and turned around and went and fought in the Civil War. You understand? And he was leading men.
He fought on what side? Don't even matter. He fought in the Civil War. Still fighting for the oppressor, whether you be fighting for the Union or the Confederacy. You still fight for the oppressor to be in rulership over you. All right. If you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, don't fall for the okie doke, man. Do not allow your sons or your daughters to join the military. And they try to promote that in this last fight with Bud Crawford and Canelo. Because one of the undercard fighters, this idiot, he couldn't get into the Marine Corps. Salakia, this brother, couldn't get into the Marine Corps because he had tattoos on his hands. So he signed up to go into the infantry in the U.S. military. And I'm like, damn, you're a professional boxer. You know, boxers get to a bag. They get to a purse, literally, you know. But he opted to go into the military. And why? That is oppression, man. Surely oppression maketh the wise man mad, man. That makes me, I'm angered by that. You think about it, like what would make him want to join the military? He's a professional boxer. He wanted that health care, man. He wanted to be able to get that education that they're offering. He wanted that BAH. He wanted, what is it that he wanted, Officer Ayathon, a Charger? The hell did he want, man? You know, it's ridiculous.
It's like some type of security.
Yeah, he wanted security. I think he lost that fight. He lost that undercard fight to that Arab, got his ass handed to him, Good night, man. May the Lord be with that brother, man. Anyhow, let's continue reading the article. I'm going to wrap this thing up here in a short.
Kawakana says, but park employees, they're also flagging a variety of other topics. Let me give you some examples. Signs that address sea level rise and climate change at Cape Hatteras National Seashore is one.
That's here in North Carolina, right? The Outer Banks. Keep reading.
Others that explain how Native Americans were forced off parkland.
They were forced off of what?
Off parkland.
When we go to New York, I can't help but to think of Seneca Village, which was what? What's the name of that park, man, in New York? Central Park. Yeah. You think about that. Everything, when you think of American history, it begins with brutalizing God's chosen people. Yeah, and they're trying to cover up what they actually did. Are we speaking facts? Are we gonna talk about the truth, or are we gonna make up a lie? You're trying to paint America as being this benevolent place that's welcoming of all peoples, and you hate the people that do the most for this place. You hate the people that built this place. America it don't run on Dunkin' Donuts, man. Runs on the backs of so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. It's always run on God's chosen people, man. All right, keep reading.
Kamakana, there are even references to the impact of urbanization and agriculture on the Everglades.
Oh man, I don't even want to. We getting into the urbanization, and the urbanization. We talk about agriculture. At one point in time, it required slave labor to pick the crops, to toil the fields, and then we had Eli Whitney's cotton gin, and then we get the mechanization of agriculture, and that forced people. Oh, we don't need so many, hands to do this work. So brothers is out of job. So they got to go seek employment. They got to go seek gainful employment. So now we flood the cities. Now we got to migrate into, Wilmington, North Carolina, or New York, Harlem, Chicago, Detroit. Now we're flooding into the cities. I mean, now it's going to force an industrial revolution. When you think about America's history.
Right.
Anyhow, we're talking about the Everglades, and you think about all of the life down in the Everglades, all of the different flora and fauna that's down there. It's a lot of natural variation in the Everglades. But you think about the swamps, that's a place that was a setting of solace for our people, trying to escape, the brutality of the oppressor. You think about the Great Dismal Swamp. Google that. Look up y'all don't do it here, but if you're at home in your free time, look at the history of the enslaved here in America, the American history. Where did the runaway slaves go and hide? And they established, villages within the Great Dismal Swamp, man, just to get away from the devil. You been down to the Everglades? It's beautiful, but I wouldn't want to live there. It's absolutely beautiful. But you think about a place that's hospitable. Who the hell wants to live in a swamp, man? But you choose a swamp over living with the so-called white man. So lock in. Go ahead.
You better go through the swamp and face the goddamn gators.
Gators and yeah.
Snakes, everything else out there in the swamp.
Oh man.
Trying to get away from them devils, man.
Spiders and snapping turtles and tegus and boa constrictors. Go ahead, Otto.
Like it. That going back to what you were saying about the Y.A.H.P.K. The in the actual depiction of the movie that Will Smith played, he was in the swamp, and for his, he had to be quiet, and a gator was coming, if I'm not mistaken, in the movie.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he had to fight out the alligators. As they was coming, like he had to literally grab the gator by his head,
right, while
they was coming, because if he didn't hold the gator by his head, they would hurt him fighting the gator. He had to kill the gator first, and to even to elude capture. Man, if I may,
this is truth. This is truth, and we talk about the sanity of American history, man. So-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians have gone insane because of American history. I couldn't imagine wrestling with a gator, but I'd much rather wrestle with a gator than to wrestle with the so-called white man. It's a lock here. Officer Kodam, keep reading this article. We're gonna wrap this up in just a second, brother.
Con, sir. It says there was one park employee who wrote that that could, quote, be seen as disparaging the development of industrial America.
Right. Keep reading.
Martinez. All right. Now you've been talking to the people inside the park service. Are they on board with all that? Langford. Well, I mean, some no doubt do agree with the president are helping with this, but the others I've talked to say the most people don't like it. They say employees are mostly flagging these signs so as to avoid getting into trouble, and they think that this is really an attempt to erase uncomfortable parts of the country's history and control intellectual discourse.
Ooh, that's heavy. They want to control intellectual discourse. They want you to be dumb in this place. They want you to remain asleep in this place. They don't want you waking up to the truth. They don't want you to wake up to know what they've done against our family, against our nation. They don't want you to know. Because if you knew, maybe you look at them in a different light. Maybe you conduct yourself in a different manner in their presence. Maybe you look at your brother and you have more compassion and empathy towards your brother and your sister, man. As destroyed as we are in this place called America, man. Intellectual discourse. That's what we do every night in the I.S.U.P.K. This is intellectual discourse. We opening up the books. We open up the Bible. We're giving you journal articles. We're going in here. We're intellectually having discussions about these things. And this right here is under attack, man. Censorship. You don't have the freedoms that the Constitution professes that you have. Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman, nor child. You don't have the freedom of speech. You don't have the freedom to serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Not here in America. You tell them that you're a Jew, and they look at you like you're crazy, man. You tell them you don't eat no pork, no shrimp, no crab, no lobster. You don't celebrate their holidays. They don't tell you. They don't say that you're an Israelite. They ask you if you what? If you're a Muslim or if you're a Jehovah's Witness, man. You look them in their face, you tell them that you're an Israelite, man. Figure out what tribe you're from. You can only come to class and figure that out. This information is all over the internet. But you're not going to get the truth unless you come into the I.S.U.P.K under Commander General YAHANNA, man. It's very, very important. That's imperative. That's the first order of business if you so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. Give me the book of John 8 and 32. Book of John, chapter 8, verse 32.
It's the book of John, chapter 8, verse 32. It says, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Very, very important. The so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians know the truth because our president and all the Christian nationals, you know, all the conservative pundits, they don't want you to know the truth about your history in this place. They don't want you to know the truth according to what God says with regard to the Bible. This is the reason why they promote Christianity and God loving everyone and that we're all brothers and sisters in Christ. They don't understand the things that they're telling you. They understand that as long as you subscribe to it, you're going to be under them. All right. And we were not created to be under anyone. All right. That's the truth. When you learn this truth, it'll set you free, man. You'll be set free from the bondage of being underneath these oppressors, man. They don't want to be held accountable for their crimes, for their sins against God's chosen people. Don't ever forget. Don't ever forget about the things that they've done to us throughout the duration of time, what they're doing currently. There's only one safe haven for you, and that's in the I.S.U.P.K, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, man, under Commander General YAHANNA. That's my time, and I'm going to pass the class over to Priest and Officer Quadam Bon Yahawada to read the security announcements, man.
Security announcements. We're the I.S.U.P.K, start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, operating under the leadership of Commander General YAHANNA. We are it's like a roof for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. If after 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which a brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3, 8 through 10 means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you. Get to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund free will offer for priests not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation is the Day of Atonement.
It's the 10th day of the 7th month, which will be Tuesday, the 30th of September of this year, according to the book of Leviticus, 23rd chapter, verses 27 through 32. Salaki.
Most High cuts the water, sir. Then we also got the cookout coming up, man. You understand? Get your affairs in order. You understand? It was the Cali cookout. Most High curse. You understand?
Right.
Go on and get that California love,
right.
man. You know what I'm saying? That's right. You understand? If anyone wanted to be a troop in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, I imagine just the brothers. Men of Israel, we're going to render one courteous salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, I.S.U.P.K. I imagine. Barak, Yahweh, Shemi, Avashah, Brakatah. Yahweh, sorry, men of turn. Sisters, I imagine, men of stand. Men of Israel, we're going to render one courteous salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, I.S.U.P.K. I much Barak, Yahweh Shemal, Athaba, Shemi Awashah. Yahweh Matah, class dismissed.